Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, creator of That Right Bar, and partner in the Ambrosia Collective and 015 Nutrition. Yo, check it out. If you were to search the word Lobliner and CrossFit, you'd find at least 92 videos. I've done so many damn videos on CrossFit, pro CrossFit, anti-CrossFit, CrossFit neutral. I also have to let you know that I am a CrossFit L1 coach, which means I went to a weekend seminar. I got to say they put on a great educational seminar. But my boy Matt Morano just wrote a great article. I'm going to link it down below at Tiger Fitness, okay? It's a great article. Is CrossFit still popular? Well, I just said CrossFit. You clicked on this video. Obviously it is. You know what CrossFit is. Popularity doesn't necessarily mean good, doesn't necessarily mean bad. It means that CrossFit is still well known. It is still either loved, hated, or in between. Very few in between. Look, the thing about CrossFitters, they're just like vegans. You don't have to wonder if they're a CrossFitter. They will tell you because they're proud of being CrossFitters. Why? Because they're functional, bro. They eat their paleo diets and they do their kipping pull-ups. When I went to the CrossFit seminar, bro, I went to that thing and they told me to do a kipping pull-up. So I did a pull-up. Like, nah, man, that's not how you do a kipping pull-up. I'm like, so how do I do it? Well, you want to push your body, push your butt out, and then fling up. Like, so you want me to do a pull-up where I'm cheating on it? No, it's a kipping pull-up. It's more effective. I'm like, effective for what? Effective for what? They're like, for power output. I'm like, where does that even make sense? I digress. Regardless, I am a CrossFit trainer, so I am better than all of you motherfuckers. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about CrossFit. Is it still popular? So CrossFit came blazing onto the scene early this century, right? Came blazing onto the scene, and you had housewives doing snatches, me looking at housewives snatches. No, just kidding. You had basically what you do. This is why I actually wrote a program. If I remember to, I'm going to link it down below. I wrote a program, a CrossFit trainer. I wrote one because what I did is I wrote a trainer that would help people do CrossFit with less risks. So I took regressions. Instead of a snatch, we did a partial snatch, right? We did movement. You just look at it down below. But basically, I had a way where I thought I could make CrossFit safer for all populations. But for CrossFit, you had like women, men who never trained in their entire life going to the gym and crushing complex movements for reps and weights and sets. And here's the problem with that. Like, there's a reason they make bumper plates. It's not because they look big and it makes CrossFitters doing 100 pounds look like they're doing 400 pounds. It's because they bounce. Because when you do a single repetition movement, like a snatch, like a clean and jerk, that you drop it and it bounces and then you just get out of the way. Now, CrossFitters, they do that one repetition movement for 3, 5, 10, 100 reps, AMRAP, as many reps as possible, or as many reps as possible within a minute. They do things for time and they do things for load. So you're increasing load, you're increasing time, you're increasing reps, you're increasing whatever it is. When you increase all those variables at once, your form's going to break down. When you increase your load and you increase your time and or you increase your reps, dude, your form's going to break down. And that's why you see people getting snapped up in CrossFit. Now, CrossFit In Theory is fantastic. I love it. Basically, they have this whole formula, and I forgot what it was. It's been a couple years. But they measure your force generated by how far it goes. So if you're 5'8" and your arm span is whatever, they use a multiplier to figure out how much total force output there was, which is great, but it's kind of absurd because your body doesn't give a fuck. Okay, but that's what they do. And it's effective, man. I've seen people change their lives with CrossFit. I've seen people get in shape. I've seen people become a part of the CrossFit community, man. I love me some CrossFit. I love it because it brings people together in the name of fitness. Sure, they might look really weird doing those really weird pull-ups, but at least they're getting together and they're training and they're reaching their goals and they're getting better. They're getting aerobically fit. They're getting anaerobically fit. Is CrossFit the perfect training situation? No. There is no perfect training modality. The perfect training modality is the one that you enjoy, that you can do safely for a long period of time, that actually increases your aerobic and anaerobic threshold. that's just good for you. It increases your overall health. Long story short, where did CrossFit fall out? Went into my experience, my thoughts on CrossFit. When did CrossFit fall off? Let me drink this delicious Pachamama coffee mixed with Ritual AM by Ambrosia. Delicious. You know what would be really good with this? Hold on. You know what would be really delicious with this? One of these new outright keto bars. I know you CrossFitters like your keto. So here's your keto bar, man. But I'm not going to be rude and eat while on camera, okay? That's just rude because you guys can't have one right now because you're over there and I'm here. Unless you have one, then you, whatever. Anyway, check it out. So here's where CrossFit went wrong. So CrossFit costs about $3,000 a year to just use the name. All right. A lot of these boxes, these CrossFit gyms, as they call boxes, they weren't able to afford that because gym business is hard. You got overhead, you got personnel. With COVID, who knows what the hell's going on, but this was before COVID when this happened, right? So anyway, they're all like, man, I got to get rid of that 3Gs, man. I got to get rid of that 3Gs. So a lot of them were already starting to convert to just cross-training studios. Export in Illinois called theirs XFit. Surprised CrossFit didn't sue the shit out of them for that one. Like, it's a fucking cross. All right, so check it out. So during the George Floyd, call them aggressive protests, mostly peaceful, aggressive protests, everybody was reeling, man. You just literally saw a man get choked out on TV by a police officer. Whatever your feelings on that are, not the point of this video. This is not tigerpolitics.com. This is not CNN. This is not Newsmax. This is Tiger Fitness. We talk about that they're fitnessing and that they're healthing. I'll talk about COVID. I'll talk about that stuff because that has to do with health. But dude, it's health and fitness. I'm not going to go into black squares on your Instagram page, not the place of this page, right? People were reeling. And so Glassman, the CEO of CrossFit, you know, he put on Twitter, it's Floyd 19 in reference to COVID-19, but replaced it with Floyd. Basically saying that, I don't know what the hell he meant, man. I'm not in that dude's head. But Glassman, I mean, keep in mind, the dude's richer than God. Like, God looks down on earth and he's like, how did thou get so fucking rich, bro? Glassman has look, when I was broke, I didn't give many fucks because I was already broke. When I started moving up the ranks, right? Like when I was like lower class, when I was like lower middle class and middle class, I actually gave a fuck. I actually cared what I said, and I actually didn't want to get in trouble with my boss. Once I started a company, and after I sold my first company, now I'm not at the Glassman level of not giving a fuck. I'm not at the Trump level of not giving a fuck for sure. I still give some fucks. Glassman is so rich that the amount of fucks he gives is actually below zero. It is negative fucks. Because when you have that much money, you just don't give a fuck. And I don't even know if Glassman's racist. I just think he just says shit he thinks. Like, you ever think something like, I know y'all drive down the street, you get cut off. I don't care if you're cut off by someone who looks just like you, same nationality, same religion, same skin. You look at that car and you just blurt out, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, that damn Jew cut me off. Matt cuts me off on the road. I'm like, I see you, cut me off. You cut me off, you Jew, when you're driving. So imagine if that driving fury, where you're just driving, you're in the moment, you don't give a fuck, and I call Matt a Jew. Imagine if that's how you live every minute of every day, that you just don't give a fuck, right? So you see something, you see some cities burning down, you're mad, and you just say, yeah, it's Floyd 19, and you just don't care. Next thing you know, you're canceled. And what that did is it gave the CrossFit gyms the opportunity to break their contract because he did something that was probably violating his end of the bargain, which was to not completely bankrupt CrossFit because he's a racist. I don't even know if the dude's racist, right? I don't care. You don't say that shit. Like, it was a very volatile situation as a CEO. You know what? You go out and you either say nothing or you say, man, that was fucked up. That was because there's not one person I know who didn't see that video and didn't act out. And I remember I saw that and I texted my business partner, Chad, and we were like, bro, I can't believe this is happening. You know, we were like in tears talking about this, and Glassman's first instinct is 119. I'm like, you fucking idiot, you insensitive jackass. So anyway, long story short, I don't think that did anything to CrossFit. People forget, right? People forget really, really, really quick. The internet, like if it's it's a 24-hour news cycle. It would have just, if CrossFit was crushing it, if this was like 2017, bro, that comment wouldn't have done anything. But CrossFit was already on its way, not out, but it was plateaued. And people were trying to get out of their contracts. That simply gave people a way to break their contractual agreements so they can move on. Reebok was like, man, we're paying a lot for this sponsorship. Let's drop it. So he had to resign from his own company, yada, yada, yada. Will CrossFit go away? CrossFit's here to stay for good. Whether it will be called CrossFit, I don't know. There's a lot of gyms out there calling themselves cross training or functional training or whatever. CrossFit as a practice, as a exercise modality, that's going to be here as long as the bicep curl is going to be here. It's a part of our exercise vernacular, man. CrossFit will always be here. It just might not be called CrossFit. As for CrossFit, the company, you guys can read stock prices and valuations as well as I can. I think it was already plateaued. And I've done videos on it that I don't see it growing much more. I think it's going to notice some decrease. I think it's going to have a slight resurgence for whatever region that is. After COVID goes away, which I think will be soon. I don't fucking know. And, once Joe Biden cures COVID and Dr. Fauci gives his blessing and all the boxes open up with no restrictions. Because I'll tell you what, it's fucking hard to do a WOD with a goddamn mask on. After all of them open up, I think we're going to see CrossFit COVID, which kills more people. Oh, I'm sorry. That was bad. No, but I think it's going to have a surge. They're going to see a spike a little, and then it's going to plateau again, and it might drop over time. CrossFit's here to stay. It's popular because people do CrossFit. They just might not call it CrossFit. CrossFit as a company, I certainly wouldn't buy stock in it right now, but I'll tell you what, it's going to have trouble. But God bless them for bringing more people into the fitness world and getting more people exercising, which helps us all as a society. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. By the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning, I need you to subscribe to this channel. I need you to go ahead and click that notification bell. I need you to like this video. I need you to tell everyone about it. And of course, shop at tigerfitness.com. Buy your delicious outright bars because we got bills to pay. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game.